Hi friends, I'm Betsy. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute all levels yoga practice. My mantra card for today's practice says, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. It's a reminder that each day right now, there's probably something hard for you. There certainly is for me. And each time I come to my yoga mat, I find something, sometimes a lot of things that are hard, that are not comfortable. And yet, the way that we move through is a way in which we are teaching ourselves to find greater peace and greater understanding. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Let's see what happens today. Take a comfortable seat. The least amount of discomfort possible to start. Close your eyes. Breathe. An awareness of breath. Tuck your chin down to the chest and then rock from side to side. Move to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Keep chin down to the chest. Take the hands behind your head and push your head up into the hands. Find a light stretch from the top of the spine down to the tailbone. Find a sense of comfort and strength on the front side of the body. Pull your navel in towards the spine. Release the hands, lift the head, open your eyes. Change to all fours. On your yoga mat, in all fours, have the hands under the shoulders and the knees under your hips. Cat and cow. So just move the spine back and forth. I always like to start with cat and cow as a reminder that we all move and change the shapes of our body in unique and different ways. The way that you make these shapes of the yoga poses might be different than the way that I make the shapes. And I'm going to give us space and time to make sure that we can all find our unique variations, even within a bit of a flow practice today. So don't let the thought of what the shapes should be or could be the discomfort. Try to let that go. Change to downward facing dog. So a little longer here. Walk the hands out further in front of the shoulders, then tuck the toes, lift the knees, and stretch the hips up and back. Bend the knees, pedal your feet. Let your head shake a little bit, yes and no here. And then find stillness. Maybe the feet a little bit wider than the hips here. Try to make the arms as straight as they'll go. If you tend to have a cranky low back or tighter hamstrings, bend your knees here so that you offer yourself the space that you need. And then lower the knees all the way to your yoga mat. Knees stay apart, big toes together. Sit the hips back for child's pose. Relax the arms, be heavy. Let a few breaths really release out. Stretch the hands out again. Come up to fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. Walk both hands a bit over to the right side. And find a longer reach and stretch on the left side. And then walk it across the center over to the second side. So much stretch, so much reach that's a little bit into that zone of discomfort. We don't want discomfort to be pain though. Come back to the middle. Again to downward facing dog. And now look forward in between the hands. We always want to know where we're going. And then bring the right foot forward. It might be a few steps until it's there, into your full low lunge. Bring your front knee over the line of our ankle, fingertips in line with the toes. Lift the back leg high enough, the hips high enough that you make your back leg straight. And really firm the muscle to the bone. Pull the thigh bone onto the thigh muscle onto the thigh bone. Can you imagine that? Keeping that, bring the hands to the waist, lift your torso straight up and down. This is a huge stretch through the back hip flexor. If it is too much, take a little bend in the knee. If it doesn't, keep the legs straight. Again, discomfort but no pain. Arms overhead. Add a twist. Look to your right to bring the left arm forward, right hand back. Really squeeze in that left glute a lot to help you balance. Arms back overhead. And then lower the hands down either side of the front foot. Keep the left hand where it is. Stretch your right arm up to the sky. And I'm on my fingertips so that I have a little bit more room and motion here. Lower the right hand down again. Bring it to the inside of the foot and spin the back heel flat against the ground. This is plenty. We're getting into the hips, into the steadiness of the legs at the same time. Work here or add hands out in front of you. I call this down dog lunge. So it's like a lunge, a warrior two shape in the legs, but downward facing dog in the arms. We're working both things at the same time. Long reach and opening across shoulders, upper back. Big, huge stretch in the legs. And then bring the hands back in. Step it all the way back, downward facing dog. You'll hear me kind of grunt and groan around through the practice. Again, that's that discomfort level that's coming in, but I find more meaning. I go into why am I practicing? Step the left foot forward. My why has a lot to do with mental health. The more that I move my body, the healthier I feel in my mind. Yeah? I think a lot of us are in that aim together. Hands to the hips, come upright. And when I move my body, my physical self is happier too. And if I'm happier physically, I'm happier mentally. It all works together. Arms overhead. Remembering that why when we're doing the uncomfortable things, so important. Twist, left arm back, right arm forward. Look to your left. Oh my gosh, this side is always so much tighter for me. Arms up ahead. And then lower the hands down. Okay, you're staying on the right fingertip, so you don't want to go down on the palm, which is going to lock in that bottom shoulder and arm. You want to stay lifted on the fingertips so you have the most amount of space to add in more of that twist. A lot of motion today in the twist. Now place the left hand down, swing it to the inside of the foot, and the back heel flat against the mat. Instead of letting the weight fall down and forward, which both hinders the front knee, but for me, it actually puts too much pressure on the back knee. I've got to keep it up and back. Push a lot through your back leg. Hands either stay right there or you walk them further out for down dog lunge. Give it a couple of solid breaths. We're looking for opening in the hips, mobility in the spine through this practice and flow today. Hands on either side. Step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Okay, look forward to your hands. Bend the knees and take a walk to the very front end of the yoga mat. Bring your hands to the hips, point the elbows up to the sky, push down into our feet. Come on up. We're already halfway there. We've done those big, powerful movements in getting our legs ready and warm in the lunges. We'll do a little more flow here. So from the top of the mat, inhale, lift the arms up. The same twist we've already done. Right hand back, left arm forward, look to your right. And then come back upright, neutral. Bend your knees, sit into your thighs, chair pose. Try to have the torso vertical even as you sit into the legs. And then palms together and add another twist. Left elbow towards the right. You can keep the left elbow away from the knee, away from the thigh, or a little more crunch down to take the elbow against the outer thigh. And then untwist, set the hands down, keep your right foot forward, step the left foot back into the lunge. We've already seen the lunge in the legs. This time come halfway up, hands to the front thigh. And repeat that same twist you just did. Again, left elbow can be in space, or a little more discomfort to get into the deeper bind. Which one works for you right now? Untwist, set the hands down, step back to plank position. Plank is the top of your push-up. Think about your push-up. Do you do toes or knees? Which one works? Find the sustainability. We are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower flat down to your yoga mat. Peel the chest up, press down through the hands and the feet. Peel the chest up, keep the elbows bent, squeeze them into your side, this cobra pose. And then tuck your toes, lift up and back, downward facing dog. We'll do this the opposite way through, so look to the hands and step your left foot forward. And again, it might be a couple of steps. It's okay. Keep going until you get into that full stride. Prop the hands up to your front thigh. You're hinged forward here. Palms together. Add the twist. Right elbow towards the left. More lifted. Or there's a crunch to go down. And still try to extend the head long. Untwist, set the hands on either side of the front foot. Now step the back foot in. Come halfway up, prayer hands. Twist again, same side, right elbow towards the left. Strong in the core, whether you're up or down in that elbow. Untwist as you stand up, arms to the sky. Add the standing twist. Hips, knees, feet stay straight ahead. Maybe you need a little bend in the knees to keep everything more in line. Right arm forward, left arm back, twist. Take it back upright, back to neutral. And exhale, release the arms. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Okay. Similar, but a little bit different here. Let's start on the second side. Last flow through. Inhale, lift up. Last standing flow, I should say. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. And now keep the left foot forward and step the right foot back. Lower the back knee down to the mat and use it. Press the knee down, pull it a little bit forward. Press the front heel down and pull it a little bit back. With that isometric connection, lift the torso and take the arms up. We want to feel as though our weight is lifting up towards the sky, but you can descend the hips a little bit down and forward if you have the space. Just don't lock into your low back. Feel as though you're lifted. Add a twist again. Look over your left shoulder. Drop the hands a little further down. Right wrist across the left thigh. Whew, is that too much discomfort? Keep it higher up if yes. The answer is within you. Arms up to the sky. Take the hands down to the inside of the foot and lift the back knee. Okay, let's do this one together. Step the right foot more forward. It's like you're in a starting block for a race. Shift your weight into your front foot, your left foot, your right hand. So much so that you can swing the right leg off of the ground. Ready? One more twist. I've got a deep bend in the left knee so that I can keep the right fingertips on the ground. And then left arm out to the side and up to the sky. Try it. Try, try, try. Remember, we learn the hard things here so that we can apply off of the mat. Go into your low lunge. And now I want you to step back to plank position. It makes what used to be hard in plank, I think, a little bit easier when we try to do all of the other discomfortable poses. Lower it flat down against the mat. Peel the chest up. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Okay, we have to do the second side. Yes, we have to. Let's balance it out. Step your right foot forward. Keep stepping until you find your full stride. We'll do this side in the same order. Lower the back knee down. Bring the hands up to your front thigh. As you do this, again, push back knee down, pull forward. So you strengthen. Body weight lifts up a little bit. Strength lifts up. Press the front heel down and back. We keep that sense of lift and buoyancy even as we let the hips go down and forward. Add the arms, add the twist. Left arm across the front thigh, right hand behind you. Maybe the hands are more lifted, maybe they're lower. Inhale, come back to your center, arms overhead. Lower them down either side of the front foot. Okay, pick up the back knee. Bring the hands to the inside, both hands to the inside. Now, starter block. Step the back foot in. Ready? Shift the weight forward into the right leg. With the weight in the right leg, left fingertips out in front. I've got all of my weight balanced here. Lean forward enough to pick up the back leg. Toes on the ground, toes 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, all the way up. Do what you can. And think head straight out in front. Aim past the front of your mat. And then add the twist, right arm up. Stay with it, breathe with it. And then lower back to your low lunge. Step the right foot back, plank pose. Find one line from head to heels. We've got this. Lower flat against the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Okay, Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Take your time. Work with your breath. Lower the knees. Get off our hands for a moment. Sit back on your heels. Shake out the hands a little bit. So I'm sitting all the way flat back on the heels with the knees together. This really is asking a lot in the flexion in the knees and the stretch across the front of our ankle. If you need to be in a different position, say upright, kneeling, or sometimes a tuck of the toes is better on folks' heels or ankles, that's fine too. Interlace your hands out in front of you. Flip the wrist. Lift the arms all the way up to the sky. Push through the thumb and the first finger. Keep lifting the chest, but knit the mid-low ribs down. And what that does is draw you back in. Exhale, release. And then take a twist. Look over one shoulder. Across the center to the other side. And then back to the middle. So those are all big, full flow movements. For me, there was some discomfort that came along the way. I want to shift us now more towards a lower end of the mat. And I do want you to find comfort, mostly ease in these next few poses, which means, again, it looks different for all of us. Start from all fours. Bring the right knee forward and then scoot your heel out towards the left side. Pigeon pose. Walk the right leg back. For some, we're going to keep the hips up higher, but can you still go lower down to the forearms? As it works, keep walking the left leg further back so that your hips evenly come closer to the mat. Again, it doesn't matter if the hips are higher or lower, but we do want to keep them pretty even. And you walk back until you're finding a pretty strong stretch on the outer right hip, something that feels sustainable, easeful enough. Bring the hips higher again by pulling the left knee closer into the right foot. Walk back up to the hands and to all fours. Do a couple rounds of cat and cow. And then pigeon on the second side. Crawl the left knee more forward towards the wrist. Kick the heel closer to the right side. And you could right away go down to the forearms here. And if you feel plenty of stretch in the outer hip, that's your stopping point. To get into a deeper stretch, you start to walk the right knee further back. Okay, is that enough now? As the body allows, you keep going back until you find a nice strong stretch on your left glute, outer hip, without creating pain. A few mindful breaths, meaning we have awareness of the length of the inhale and exhale. And then slowly bring the back knee closer in until you can again come up to the hands and switch around. All fours, cat and cow. If you'd rather be off of the wrist here, you can be on your knuckles. Okay. And then find a full seat on your yoga mat and stretch your legs out in front of you. Flex your feet, point the toes straight up towards the sky. And then here, take your arms overhead. This is a deceptively hard pose. Takes a lot of strength here, deep flexion in the hip and the hip flexor. To get straight up and down, most of us need a little bend behind the knees so that we're not rocked back. So rather than being here, we bend the knees and come up, okay? Stay as upright as possible in the upper body, legs more bent, more straight. Try for a 90-degree angle. And then try for an 85 or an 80-degree angle. Relax the arms down. Keep the length of the spine. So it's not about, can I get my head or chest down to the legs? Instead, we're thinking about growing longer, aiming past the toes. And then maybe the hands get to walk just a little further as we find a little longer time in this pose, maybe a little bit more expansion. And then walk your way back up. Shift to lie all the way down onto your back. As you lie down onto your back, pull your knees into your chest, big squeeze. Take the hands out to a T shape, or like me, you can bend at the elbows and make more like a goalpost. And set both knees over to the right. Once you set the knees down, try to release, just be really passive, let it be here for a moment. And bring the knees across the center, lie them down to the second side again. Stillness, release. And back into the middle. Little rock from side to side. Okay. Set yourself here for the final 2 minutes of practice. These final 2 minutes, I want you to be as still, as comfortable as possible. So no discomfort here. Do your best to set yourself up in a way that is easeful, still in the outer form, plenty of movement of the breath from within. If you find the mind still quite busy during this time, maybe check back in with your why. Sometimes I just sort of picture the class that just came, the practice that I just did. Mindfully walk through. Notice the hard work and how it can pay off here. And then set yourself more at ease. Let it be. As you're ready, take your time to stretch out again. Little movement, and then bigger movement. Come all the way back up to a seated position. Close your eyes, turn your gaze low for just a couple more moments. Let the corners of your mouth turn up. I find a deeper meaning in personal growth amid the discomfort. I hope you saw that. I hope you saw that through this time for practice. Bring the palms together, bow in, giving full gratitude and thanks to yourself for each of us that have participated in this practice and for yoga itself. Namaste. Thank you all.